Hello and welcome to another episode of Talk Back, the show where we ask tough, compelling questions from tough, compelling people. Our guest tonight has contestably one of the finest resumes in Pakistan. Hson College, Oxford University, the Civil Services of Pakistan, the Pakistan People's Party, and finally, the presidency of the Islamic Republic. Besides hunting, his other claim to fame is that he's the only man alive to have enacted Article 58(2)(b) to dissolve a sitting National Assembly. Some call him the aristocratic former president. We call him the Sardar. Sardar Farooq Laghari, welcome to Talk Back.
Thank you.
You've been on the record several times saying that you are inherently against the King's Party, the concept of a King's Party, especially during the days of the interim government you set up once you removed Benazir Bhutto from office. You said, in fact, that you were aware, this is a quote from you, you were aware of what history did to such political activities. Yet today, contestably, you are in a King's Party.
Pakistan was passing through and continues to pass through a very difficult period. Pakistan is literally in the eye of the storm. The region that we are in, the kind of trouble we have across our borders and now even within Pakistan, we needed to strengthen stability here.
But most of your life, you've been political life. You've been a PPP man. How do you reconcile your ideology from the PPP to the Millat Party to the PMLQ today?
Well, Millat Party.
That's a spectrum.
Yes, yes. It should be very interesting also for people. And I must say this on record that when I joined the People's Party, it had certain ideals. By the time I dismissed the PPP government and dissolved the assembly in 1996, PPP had forgotten all about its ideals. It was no longer the party of Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto that I had joined or that we had conceived. And the Millat Party that we formed, we thought was along the same lines. It was a party for the people. It was a party for supremacy of democracy, for democracy in its true sense, not just that we wanted elections, but we wanted not only fair and free elections.
But besides the PPP, you have also been vehemently against the PMLN. And today, you are in a party, you've gone on the record and said, this is after your resignation from the office of the presidency, you said you would launch a crusade against the detrimental policies of the Nawaz Sharif regime. Today, remnants of that regime are in power via the PMLQ, and you are in power with them.
Yeah, well, the remnants are there all over. There are remnants of PPP, there are remnants of PMLN.
How does that feel that you're with your former enemies?
The former enemies are still there. It's not a question of enemies per se. When we are in the political struggle, there are people who are against you, there are people who are against...
Many people say you've compromised.
Well, I don't know.
In the interest of staying on the treasury?
No, I had no interest in staying on the treasury. I have seen the highest office in Pakistan, and I'm not interested in any office.
But Mr. Laghari, don't you find it ironic that a military man put you in prison? I'm referring to Ziaul Haq. And today, you are in power via and under the stewardship of a military man.
Yes, it does appear very odd, and that is why I told you earlier that what concerns me today most is Pakistan's stability and Pakistan's security. We live in very troubled times. The times when we were struggling against the military dictatorship of Ziaul Haq were quite different to what times are today. Pakistan's existence is threatened. There is huge trouble in Afghanistan next door. There's trouble in Iraq, there's trouble brewing in Iran.
So just because the geopolitical circumstances are different, let me get this straight. Just because the geopolitical circumstances are different and the internal circumstances are different as well, you will jump ship? Because that's what you've done.
It's not a question of jump ship. We had our own ship. Our ship was the Millat Party and the National Alliance.
And you merged it into remnants. You merged it into the opposite forces.
No, it's
people you've fought with against all your life.
Yeah, but it's not that. When you merge with another group or party, whatever the majorities or the numbers on either side are, your influence depends on whether you can translate your ideals and whether you can get the new party to adopt those or not. In fact, when we joined, at that very ceremony when we joined, Shujaat said that our manifesto will be exactly the 20 points of the National Alliance which I had drafted, and neither one more nor one less.
Well, why was this being reported then? This is in the Daily Times around the time of the merger of the Millat Party with the PMLQ. The reason for Mr. Hussein's, talking about Chaudhry Shujaat Hussain, unhappiness stems from his fear that Mr. Laghari stepping into the PML4 may significantly change the ethos of the party, because politically and ideologically both of them have always been poles apart, and that Mr. Laghari is in no way PML material. You're not PML material.
No, but
you're
PML,
a PPP man who formed his own party.
PML once was the party that created Pakistan. My father was a part of it. PML then changed. It became, as you said, a king's party, and each time it was resurrected by either a military government or by someone else. But that is precisely what we wanted to change. The fact that we were not able to succeed fully is another matter. But we have been trying, and we will continue to try that within the PML.
Would you agree, bottom line, would you agree that the PMLQ is a king's party?
Well, yes, right now it is. Because
then,
if power...
Then the question is, what are you doing in it?
But even PPP today is the king's party. Even Fazlur Rahman is the king's party.
All right, what about the small potato syndrome? People are saying you're chewing on small potatoes. You've held the highest office of the country, and today you are a mayor MNA.
Well,
small potatoes, do you think?
Well, I think people who have risen to the highest office in public life through constitutional means, for them to become an MNA is really nothing which is wrong. It is not a come down. It is something which is honorable, because we who are in public life, we are always going to the people and getting their support. And as an MNA, we have certain duties to perform for our constituency, for our people, and for the nation.
All right, what about the new reality? If there is a merger, or so to say, understanding, coalition, deal, etc., call it what you may, and under the aegis of the presidency, the PMLQ forms the right wing and the PPP forms the left wing, what will be your role?
I don't think this is going to happen, a left wing or a right wing. I think there's very little difference left between PPP and the Muslim League, but there is a big divergence, basically, almost in every constituency between supporters of the two parties. And I think they're going to be fighting against each other in the next elections. And how that's going to translate into an alliance is something which I can't foresee. I think that's very, very difficult.
Well, in a what-if situation, if there is an alliance, if you're saying that there is no difference between the PPP and the PML today, or the PMLQ, well, as some people call it, what do you think your role will be?
When I say that there is no difference, what I mean is that they are both with Musharraf. And when I say that there is a difference between them, I feel that there is a big ideological difference even right now, right down to constituency level. And it's very difficult to reconcile the interests of the two parties. And I don't see that happening. But if it were to happen under some kind of a pressure, then I will decide which way I need to go.
We have to take a short break here, Mr. Laghari. We are with Farooq Laghari, the former president of Pakistan. Stay tuned to Talk Back.